listening to Am I the Bolcast, the only Magic the Gathering podcast that you're listening to right now. It's me, Mike Carosa. That's right. It's your boy, the sweet, sweet dum-dum who loves Magic the Gathering and making sure that everybody has a good time. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Michael Solani. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? I have to admit something. I was wrong. I was very, bored with the commanders of Lorwyn. And, having seen them now, I admit I was wrong. They're much more interesting than they look on the surface.
Okay, let's expand on that after we introduce our guest today, but I'm very excited to hear what you have to say because I, too, have been impressed by some legends of the set. I think we're going to have a lot of fun this episode because joining us is honestly one of my favorite people that I've gotten to meet because of Magic the Gathering. This guy is you might know him for his writing about the artists behind Magic, the news in Magic. He's also an editor for EDHREC now. He is a sweetie pie with a beautiful beard. Nick Wolf joins us today. Hey Nick, buddy, good to see you.
Hi, how you doing, Mike and Michael? Oh, I do want to mention for Michael, I am on the Team Diviner side of things.
Hell yeah, get his ass, dog.
No, I'm agreeing with Solani. I'm not agreeing with you.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh.
It's Diviner. It's not Diviner.
Oh yeah, no, it's Diviner. Wait, I f***ed up. Sorry, Ken. No, wait. I thought you said the opposite of what you said.
No.
Oh,
I'm definitely Team Diviner for sure.
Diviner sucks. Twilight Diviner is such a low. Twilight Diviner. Diviner's ass. It's cheeks. It's bad. Although
we can just go back and pretend that you always were on the side of Diviner.
I'm never gonna be on the side of Diviner because
East Asia was always at war with Oceania.
Shush. Like in the old movies and things when they're looking for water and they got the little sticks.
Yeah.
Those are divining ones. Because you're divining.
Dude, I saw the gears turning in your head as you're trying to come up with some sort of response to that, and the best you could muster is whatever.
No, I mean, I wasn't looking for a response so much as I was like, this doesn't feel relevant. Diviner is just more interesting of a sound to me than Diviner. Having that emphasis on the first syllable is just like, ugh.
You should start a band and call it the Diviners. Then no one can complain, because it's your band.
Why is everybody's response to something sounding away a band name now? It's always a band name.
It's been
like this for years.
Yeah.
I don't.
You've never heard a great phrase and been like, "Oh, that would make a great band name."
No, of course I've heard that, but also, you know what else it would make? A great phrase I just heard. It's like, I think let it be what it is. We don't. You know what sucks is knowing that there's a bunch of good band names being used by AI bands that are being championed by Spotify. And that's, I guess, where this rage is coming from, is that somebody keeps going, hey, that would make a good band name, and then goes over to a fucking computer, sorry, Ken, and just tippy-tappies away and makes gent metalcore that can be made by a robot and says, yeah, this band is called the Diviners or the Diviners, depending on how fucking stringent you're going to be about goddamn fucking pronunciation. Sorry, Ken. Yeah, I'm on one today. My stomach is killing me. And it's fucking cold. Sorry, Ken. And my nose is blocked, and I'm sick. And so I'm a little cranky. And one of my favorite people is on the podcast, and is already coming out on the side of my natural nemesis, my co-host on the podcast. It's not a fun day. I'm already mad.
It's fun for me.
Well, look, before we get into anything, I do have to talk about our sponsors. We are, of course, as always, sponsored by cardsphere.com. Cardsphere, get your cards here, baby.
Oh, man,
cardsphere.com.
I've been wearing their hoodie around. It's been great. People have noticed what it was. It's like, oh, Cardsphere, that's that site that went out of business. And I'm like, I think it did do that at one point, and then we bought them. Is that how that worked? I don't remember.
I have no idea. I'm going to be real. All I know about them is that they're useful. It's great. It's an excellent trading platform. I, too, wear the hoodie all the time. I wear the hoodie constantly because
our guest is holding up a card from Cardsphere.
Yeah. Oh, a Bolas' Citadel with the store promo.
Or no?
That's awesome.
It's graded A+ because it's great.
For I'm
I got
happy
a
to
check
have
plus.
I wear the hoodie all the time because it's like the best hoodie I have. It's so comfortable. I was wearing it before I took it off because I got warm. It's like right here.
Yeah.
I wear this hoodie constantly, and I swear I've gotten more people to check out Cardsphere from wearing the hoodie than probably from the podcast referral link, which honestly says a lot. So if you're listening to this, get on the referral link for sake. Sorry, Ken.
Cardsphere
Use the referral link in the description and get on Cardsphere. Start trading.
would make a good band name.
I swear to God, Solani. As always, our other sponsor of this episode is boneboxgames.com. Boneboxgames.com. Use the promo code Bolcast for a little something off your next purchase. Guess what? They teased a new design, and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait.
Is it on their website? I have not seen this.
No, so Evan posted it on Twitter and Blue Sky, I guess, and it just looks so fun. It's very desert themed. It's got pink and green to it. The inner felt is green, like a light green. It's really pretty. It's
like
so
a skull
nice.
motif too.
Exactly. It's right up my alley. I think it's so sweet, and I can't wait. I'm always excited to see what these boys do, and I'm always excited to get another Bonebox deck box. Like I have all of them at this point. I think I don't have the classic. I think that's the only one I'm missing is the classic, and like I have the porcelain one, baked goods, tarot, decay. And they're all phenomenal. It also allows me, because it fits exactly my commander, the tokens, and my deck. I promise myself that I'm gonna stop carrying around my quote unquote sideboard and just let the deck breathe as it is right now. So the deck box being exactly what I need when I go off to my LGS for the commander night. I pull it out. It got compliments right out the gate. It's smooth to pull out the deck, smooth going in. Just a great product. I think the one complaint I have is that I have all these archives from like, I guess Ultimate Guard or something, and they don't fit in that. But I mean, look, maybe one day Bonebox Games will put out one of their own that I could put all my Bonebox deck boxes in and carry that around to the LGS instead. Very fun stuff. Boneboxgames.com. Use promo code Bolcast for a little something off, a little discount. Michael, you teased a chat about Lorwyn Eclipsed Legends not being impressive and being proven wrong. And I would love to hear more about this. Tell me what legend has caught your eye. Which one is doing it for you right now?
Well, when I was writing about all of these, my first pass over all of these legends were like, oh, this is so straightforward, right?
Okay. Why is that?
They all read in a way that's very to the point. It's kind
Can
of
you give me an example?
It's it's conditioning you to read it a certain way. So like think about let's see. I'm just scrolling through these right now. Think about the Reaper King No More, right?
Okay,
so
love it. We were talking about it before you got here.
The black, red, green commander that when it enters, you put a -1/-1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. And whenever a creature with an opponent controls with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, you gain control of it after it dies, but you only do that once a turn. Yep. So it looks very straightforward, right? You put a bunch of -1/-1 counters on a thing. I learned that it's 6 CMC. You can birthing pod it. That sort of thing is all over this set, you know? Ferrophore, Young Yu, the one that when it enters creates a number of saplings equal to the number of counters among creatures a target player controls. I mean, it sounds like all you do is put +1/+1 counters on your creatures, but you could also do something like just make a spacecraft really, really, really big with its charge counters.
Okay.
And then you get that many saplings, you know? That sort of thing. It's just all over this set.
Okay. I mean, you talked about Ferrophore last time we talked about the legends of this set, and I remember you saying, because to me, Ferrophore does not look interesting, but then you started talking about it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I could see where you're coming from.
That's the vibe that I was kind of getting out of all of these.
Is that they don't seem interesting, and then somebody hips you to the idea.
Yeah, or like Bree of Clan Stoutarm being a burn deck. You just give the impact tremors creatures lifelink, right? Now every time a creature comes in, that 1 damage they do to everyone is funneled to you. So you get the 3 life. You don't even have to like swing with a big guy in the air. It's just they burn.
That one was my favorite.
Honestly, pretty fun. Bree of Clan Stoutarm is your favorite?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
My first
Talk
commander.
more about that, Nick.
Well, my first commander ever was Brian Stoutarm. So
I can dig it. I had a stout arm deck. I loved it too. It was so fun. Tell me more, Nick. What else you got on this one?
That's pretty much it.
Oh, it was your first one?
I like it because of like the Nick lore applications for it.
Oh, I see.
But-
yeah, the Nick lore of it is what makes it appealing.
Yeah. Plus,
Add it to the wolf pack.
I
Oh,
also usually look at new commanders based on how likely it is I can get them signed by their artist.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay. So were there any from this set that were just essentially no-goes for you that you don't think you'll get your signatures for them?
I mean, not really. I think I have some stuff signed by pretty much everybody that did a legendary creature in this set. So no, it'll be easy to grab stuff, get stuff signed at events.
Has there been anything from this set in particular that you've kind of been like, oh, I mean, that piece is gorgeous and I need it signed? Is there one that's really caught your eye?
Not exactly. I mean, I really like the Omar Rayan stuff. That
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can think of an example off the top of my head. That
I'm looking it up.
yeah,
Omar Rayan, you said?
yeah, like the Yeardew Carrier of Dawn, but like the showcase version.
Yes, that stuff was amazing.
Yeah, that stuff. I
Yeah.
really like that.
Okay, see, I'm seeing what you're saying because I'm looking at it. We've got the Figure of Fable is another one of his, and Goliath Daydreamer, Grave Venerations. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff from this set that he's done, and that's really sweet. Yeah, he's all over this set, huh?
Yeah.
He's got very much the he does a lot of the oh man, I'm seeing these like Eldraine alt art cards from my god, Wilds of Eldraine, and then also the March of the Machine like legend sheet alt art treatments, and geez, this guy is good. It is exactly the kind of fantasy that you want and expect from Lorwyn, and I think he really nailed it. Even the common Blighted Blackthorn is one that I keep thinking is going to be good because I like the art, and then it's just a really bad. It's a bad card.
It's a Storm the Seed Core situation where the art is godlike, but the card itself is just garbage.
My God, Storm the Seed Core is exactly what I'm thinking of. Every time this happens with a card, I'm just like, Rainville, baby. That was him, right? Am I getting that's the right guy? Yeah.
If I remember,
It's
right,
exactly the same.
like if I remember right, Omar's first Magic set was the original Lorwyn, so it was kind of like a callback to that.
Oh, sweet.
I feel
I
like
had
this
no
is
idea.
kind of like it's kind of like the opposite of like a Seb McKinnon, right? Because Seb McKinnon used to do cards that were all really, really good, and they had good art, but then he turned out to be a jackass. Sorry, Ken. Is Jackass censored? Whatever. Sorry,
Jackass
Ken.
is fine. I don't need it censored.
You know what, Ken?
Jackass is fine.
Go f*** yourself. Sorry,
Hey,
Ken.
don't say that to Ken. All
No,
right,
I'm just
Michael's
kidding,
muted
Ken.
for the next little bit.
But
He's
I mean, now it just seems like this poor guy keeps doing amazing art, and they only end up on cards that are terrible. So,
I
rip.
mean, I don't think that they're terrible. Goliath Daydreamer's pretty freaking sick, and he did make he got Airdew. I don't know where you're getting this terrible thing. He's got like one common that I didn't think is good.
Yeah, but I think his hit rate is pretty low, right? Also, I'm not that big a fan of Airdew.
I love Airdew because it's exactly what I've been asking for a long time, and I will say
I
it's
wish it
been
was
difficult
more
to brew it without the.
It was more on the
infinite.
Convoke and less on the Persist. That's what I want.
But that's how you gotta. That's how I built him. I built a solid balance, and I feel pretty good about it. But I'm still tinkering. I mean, no, I think he's got pretty good hits. Like the frame from Eldraine and March of the Machine, the reprint of Ayara, First of Locked Wayne is gorgeous. The Questing Beast from Secret Lair or something is insane. Didn't he do an entire Secret Lair of like beasts? Because I'm looking at the Stitcher Supplier, Beast Whisperer, Vizier of the Menagerie, Lab Maniac, Wood Elves. That Secret Lair looked incredible, but
he does draw a lot of
cards.
animalistic creatures, it looks like.
It was one of those
He's-
artist spotlight ones, the secret layer that you're talking
Yeah.
about.
You know what? I'm gonna look this up, and I'm gonna. I think it's him. First of all, Goliath Daydreamer. If you're calling that card bad, I don't understand where you're coming from. It is. It makes sense that it's not the best card in the world, but my God, did that thing do work with me and against me at every pre-release I ever opened it at or had to play against it. What a card! Probably gonna pop off in 60 card formats. I really hope it does. I'm putting it in my my Sanar deck right now just because I want to try it out. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it because I don't have that many instants at sorceries, but I do think it'd be fun. Let's see. Did he do cemetery? He did. Okay, so one of my favorite arts in Magic is Cemetery Puka, which is just the strangest art. And it's gorgeous, and it's Omar Rayan. This is a card that every time I look at it, I think, man, I really should play. I should play this card a lot more. And then, well, I don't.
I use Hostility all the time. I use Distant Melody all the time. You know, there's some
Distant
stuff in
Melody's a classic. The OG Distant Melody art is everything. I appreciate that they've done different art for. I think it was, God, one of the commander sets, like decks. They had a reprint and it was different art.
I will say this: I am very pleased that Lorwyn and Eldraine have distinct styles. You know, distinct vibes. I super didn't think that they would. I thought I was a little concerned that they would just kind of bleed together, but I suppose that was unfounded. They do definitely feel like separate planes.
Yeah, I can appreciate that too. That's very nice. I will say we've been talking a lot about the art. We did a bunch of talking off the top about sponsor stuff, and we haven't really asked Nick many questions. So Nick, I'm going to ask you because, and I know you're a more quiet and reserved individual, and you're a man of many words when it comes to typing them out. So I'm not going to put you on the spot for too long here because we're going to get into this mailbag submission soon. But why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? I did cover a couple things, but what would you like them to know about you? And is there anything of late in Magic that you've been thinking about?
Well, the one major thing that I would like people to know is that I write all of the EDHREC crosswords, and they should go do those.
Hell yeah, you do.
I think the current one, I'm not sure when this is going to go out, but I think we're up to
it's going to be out in like about a month, I think.
Right.
We're at the beginning of February right now.
Yeah.
It's the February 1st tomorrow.
Well, we might be up to about 20 by then, so you know it's a fun milestone to have. I've been kind of tinkering with the layout, trying to figure out what to do to make them difficult enough, but not too difficult where people just get really mad and never come back. It's it's a push and pull, but it's been really fun to write all the clues.
Been a lot of fun to do them every week. I've been enjoying them a lot.
You got to add some rebuses in there, some shit that nobody likes. You know what they are, right, Mike?
No.
It's those squares in the like New York Times crosswords where it's multiple letters. Like if you read it down and across, it's the same sequence of letters in both directions, but like one square has like 5 letters in it for some reason, and you just have to know they're there. They don't tell you that it's a rebus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
That's interesting and fun, but also a nightmare to me.
Nightmare. It would be a nightmare for me too. No, thank you.
Of course it would be. Of course it would be. You got to think of all the words that work the same way.
Yeah, but besides crosswords, there's also Spellify still kicking, and then we got some stuff cooking that hopefully will come out eventually. In the games front, that's kind of my primary focus is games, but also we're doing a new article series on EDHREC called Community Corner, where we kind of look at nonprofits that are related to Magic in some way, community groups, things that. Or just like stuff that is tangentially related to Magic, but is not like, the deck tech kind of thing. It's more of like we just did one that was an interview with a band called Planeswalker, who is a power metal band that is all just Magic themed songs. And it's been fun so far. Like the first one we did was Women in Magic, kind of just tell their story about how it got started, what they're cooking up for 2026, things like that. and it's been getting a pretty good response so far. And we've
Very
only
nice.
had a couple so far, so there's a lot coming down the road.
So where do people check that out? EDHREC.com?
There's a website called EDHREC.com.
EDHREC.com?
I think it stands for like EDHREC, something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. EDHREC.com. Make sure to check that out, that little website that you're probably already aware of. And where you find my article series, Amithebolas, and Michael's article series, How They Brew It, and then some. And I guess, like, do we want to... Let's see, Nick.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about... what's the latest commander that's caught your eye as, like, I'm thinking about it, I haven't brewed it yet, or maybe you have brewed it. Which commander has got your brain turning gears?
I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but
Off mic we did.
Yeah, I can't decide which one I like more out of the Blight Curse Lorwyn Eclipsed deck. The Jund -1/-1 counter legend has been something that I've been wanting for years and years. So that's probably the boring answer. But I mean, I'm always thinking about Felden of the Third Path and how to build that in different ways.
You love that
is such
deck.
a fun deck.
Right now, I have Felden Dragons, but who knows? Maybe it'll be Felden something else. Felden's just a sad guy, and I want him to be happy.
Felden's just a sad guy.
Felden's just a sad guy, and I
quote.
want him to be happy.
Now that's a band name.
No, that's an album. That's an album name. Get it right, Mike.
No. That's a band name. I listened to a band called The World is a Beautiful Place and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die. I think that can be a band name.
No, that's like a science fiction novel about a robot who's the last one in the world.
Just because you're thinking of I have no voice and I have no mouth and I need to scream or whatever it's called.
I was actually thinking of that Robin Porter, that one album, you know, the one. What's his guy's name?
I read magic cards, not books.
Porter Robinson. I was getting it backwards. That's a good album. I should send that to you after this.
Send it over. I mean, look, to talk about the first of all, I've played different versions of this Felden deck again. Like, you've played this deck against me over the years, and it's changed every time we've played it. And it's fun to see you just, like, have it evolve. And obviously it becomes a little easy when you're like, the mana base, 30 mountains. And then whatever utility lands fit.
One Valakut. Don't forget the Valakut.
No. I'm talking. I'm excluding any of the non-basics, but obviously the Valakut stays.
Well, I mean,
and then like you
specifically, they're Tempest Mountains, and they're all signed by Mark Poole,
which is so sick. I love playing against you, and I will say we talked about this off mic before. While we were waiting for Solani, the Jund precon, the -1/-1 precon that I too have been excited for about a decade at this point. I had a Hapatra deck for a long time. I put together a Scorpion God deck as well back in the day, but Hapatra was like the main focus for me. I did try to make the Jund deck work with Zyra Arian, the OG legend, Jund legend that lets you draw a card for Jund.
Target player draws a card.
Target player,
draw
that's
a
right.
Card.
It can make anybody. And then I had also tried it with Aiden Oakenshield. Like, I just like proxied it in the command. Honestly, I just wanted a Jund legend for this deck to make it work so that I could play Scorpion God and Hapatra. And we finally have Anti-Ool and the Reaper King No More. And frankly, I'm excited to get mine all upgraded. I'm excited to, you know, I've just recently dismantled my Hapatra deck before the announcement of this deck. Literally, I had taken it apart thinking, well, I don't, if we're not getting it now, then I don't think we're gonna get it. And then Lorwyn Eclipsed commander decks were announced, and I was so thrilled. So I still have it semi-sleeved on my desk here, and I'm gonna pillage for parts that aren't in the precon. Get rid of some of the stuff that I don't need, like Harmonize in 2026.
Let's see what Recommander has about that precon. Give me a second.
Recommander.cards.
Yeah.
Michael's website. Well, like Anti-Ool and the Reaper King No More are both very popular right now, and it makes sense. It's a pre-con deck, and it's a theme that people have been asking for a long time. It is also very clearly a bad time to be playing that deck so much. What we're going to see is a flooding of tables with these decks, and people are going to be like, I just don't want to play against -1/-1 counters all the time, blah, blah,
and
blah.
the worst
Some
part
will
is,
peter it out. Yeah, go ahead.
if you have multiple anti-ools at the table, they like build on each other because they don't care who puts the counters on.
Nope.
So it's like you've got two anti-ools and you put a -1/-1 counter on an enemy creature, and like that person loses 2 life.
Yeah, anti-wool, don't care. Great card for me. I love it. But I will say, if you're experiencing frustration at your locals or with your play group, and you're having a hard time convincing people to want to play against this deck anymore already, trust me when I say, give it a couple months when the next obsession is out on the tables, and break out the Jund counters deck again.
Here, Mikey, I'm sending it to you. All the cards in the pre-con that should be in the pre-con that aren't.
Yeah, just
thank you, Michael.
Show up with your -1/-1 counters deck when everybody's playing turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to do. When everybody's got turtles on the brain, that's when you break out the -1/-1 counters.
I actually do have a turtles commander that I'm really interested in, but I do know that we have taken a long time here. So
we have, but just name drop it. And maybe at the end we'll have a little chat about it. What's the turtles commander you're excited about?
Kitsune? Let's see. What's Dragon's Daughter? Yeah.
The 4 off the top of my head, 4 blue when this enters and attacks, exchange
deals
control
combat damage.
It's on combat damage?
Yeah, that is a lot worse, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So 4 blue 6/6 with vigilance. I remember because Sun Titan. And it's enters or deals combat damage. I thought it was attack. I thought it was another Sun Titan situation. When that happens, you may exchange control of 2 other target creatures controlled by different players.
So
that is correct.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, you switcheroo when you attack.
I mean,
I had this I just built this stupid Aminatou deck where all it is switcheroos. And you switcheroo something with an ETB, and then you blink it back to your side, the one with the ETB that you just gave away. Because it's like, it's not going to help them when you switcheroo it away. But you're going to be blinking these things anyway, so you might as well get some extra value out of them, you know? It's like, imagine a conjured, what's it called? Something conjuring?
Something?
No.
What?
Like a Puka's Mischief.
Sure.
You steal back every turn. It's disgusting.
I mean, I used to have an Aminatou deck, and it just was like a Planeswalker deck that went really hard on... It ended up being closer to like a control deck in the end, and I ended up dismantling it because I like Commodore Guff so much, and I think that's where I'm going to lean all my Planeswalker stuff for it. But Aminatou is incredible. If you haven't played an Aminatou deck, it is the first commander I'm going to think of when it comes to blinking anything, and it's not even close.
It's also the only deck I could find that makes sense to run Dreams of the Dead.
Yeah, dude, it rips. I love that card. Dreams of the Dead is so silly. Nick, I know you know Dreams of the Dead. This is
Did it come out 20 years ago?
An Ice Age classic.
It's a good band name.
I swear to God, Michael. It did come out in 95. It's an Ice Age.
30.
3 and a blue enchantment. It's an enchantment with an activation cost, and that's it. So this is the activation. 1 and a blue. Return target white or black creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature gains cumulative upkeep 2. If the creature would leave the battlefield and exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. So Aminatou allows you to blink it, and it comes back in because it is going to exile. It's just coming back from the effect. Pretty sick. Really like it. Real bananas play, and it was always in my list for Aminatou since I upgraded that deck, and I love it. Oh, it's so fun.
28 out of 6,500 decks. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
It's too good to ignore. I think you guys are making a mistake.
And that
Challenge the stats.
that card is
Game
what,
Wait, let's
12 cents,
Why
something
no,
like that. You can probably
Yeah,
buy
it's
20.
so
buy
cheap.
Yeah, it's
30
like
of
a
them.
quarter.
You could probably get. Look, they'll throw it in for free if you order something cool on Cardsphere. Just make sure to get on cardsphere.com and start trading. You could probably get a copy of Dreams of the Dead to be put on top of another card to protect it from something else. That's how cheap these cards are. For sake, sorry, Ken. I really do feel sick. I am. I'm gonna drink some ginger ale and then we get into a mailbag. How does that sound, guys?
Sounds
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Well, lucky for you, ginger ale's been drunk, and I'm about to read a mailbag submission. So, this one again. I know I say I try not to cover ones that have been in the column already, but you know what? It is what it is. I like this one, and I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to hear what Michael had to say about it. And you know what? Nick is here, and I'd like to hear what he has to say about it. Morgan, I wanted to hear what you have to say about it, but Morgan, actually, we didn't even address this. Morgan isn't with us today. She had to. She couldn't make it to this recording. We had it all planned out. She just had to deal with something. So, I'm gonna dive into this. This submission comes to us from Navinerol, which does not start great if you're naming yourself Navinerol. So we're
It's
gonna
just
eliminate
Larry
that
Nevin.
bias. Larry
He's
Nevin.
written in.
Yeah. Is this like
So Larry Nevin wrote in.
is this about like traveling through hell?
In a way,
It's
a little bit.
a Larry Niven reference.
Here we go. I'm gonna read it all, and I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit as I read because there are some things that repeat. So here it comes. Hi, Mike, long-time reader, first time writing in. I played a game about a month ago, and I'm still finding myself wondering if there was something I should have done differently. I've been playing Commander with some friends for a couple years, and while I've previously drawn some ire for certain removal, stacks, or infect pieces, we generally get along fine and have a good time. Recently, we've added a few new people to our group, and although I haven't interacted with them much, they seem pretty chill. On the day in question, I found myself in a pod with 3 of the new people. So it's just Navineral and then 3 other people that are part of this play group, but they're the newer ones. Got it? Player A was running Firelord Azula. Player B had Crewfix God of Horizon. And Player C was running Maronar. Maronar sounds like I'm speaking an Australian accent.
Maronar.
Maronar. These players had previously been very vocal about their dislike of all things poison, control, and disruptive interaction, which is a little funny. With this in mind, I decided to try out my newly made Kellen the Kid deck, a card that I have personal gripes with. I am. Let me just read the whole thing without interjecting so much, but I'm having fun. Whilst it does have 2 of the Praetors as ways to close out the late game, there are no other stacks pieces and very little removal. The deck mostly just tries to find ways to generate value with Kellen. I explained briefly that the deck was a value engine playstyle, and then we shuffled up. All 4 of us found solid starts and generally built up our board states. I got out Kellen, Chulane, and a Wondrous Crucible, but the general concern at the table was the Azula player. A couple of turns go by, my deck is starting to proc Kellen and Chulane multiple times a turn, but the only removal I've attracted was losing my Deep Sea Kraken. Player A dumps all their mana into a Comet Storm copied by Azula to take us all out. I defend with Prismatic Strands, and the table collectively picks off Player A's combo pieces as they're tapped out. Another few turns goes by, and I have now played over half my deck. I get out Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, and then Wondrous Crucible lets me cheat Jin Gitaxias, Core Augur in my end step. It's clear that I'm now running away with the game. Play passes with people fishing for removal, and the Maronar player finds and casts Swarmyard Massacre. I flash in a Glorious Protector to save my creatures, but player A and B are wiped out and concede. I flash back Prismatic Strands to stop Caramonyx from killing me with poison, and player C also concedes. I apologized after the game about getting both Praetors out at once, and was told that this was relatively minor, but that they now really objected to value engine decks in general. In particular, the idea of a deck where you had to preemptively remove value pieces rather than waiting until after the deck has done its thing seemed to really upset them. For the next game, I swapped to a Rebek and Silas Wren artifact deck, and Rebek, defending my board state, drew a lot of complaints. I'm used to some, but player A mentioned that they didn't think I should be allowed to have her in the command zone, which felt a bit extreme. Despite Rebek and my board in general eating a massive amount of removal, I was able to sneak a kill on the Azula deck by copying Magister Sphinx, winning me the game. I feel slightly bad for winning twice against the newer players. Both games were close, and I feel my decks were fairly matched against the Azula and Marinar decks, but I worry it was an unintentionally demoralizing experience. The other problem I have is that I'm sure what to play against them in the future. If they object to me slowing their play with stacks or removal, and to me helping my own with efficient protection and engines, then I'm not sure what I can do that won't upset them other than just sit there and lose. Hopefully, you can help me see where I'm going wrong and offer some guidance. Thank you, Navineral. Sorry if this submission is too rambling. Feel free to trim it if you see fit. So first of all, thank you, Navineral, for writing in. And also, I've written this article up last month. You can check it out on EDHREC.com. I forget what I called it on there, but I think it was actually 2 weeks ago. It's the one from January 28th, and it's called A Big Happy Playgroup Family. And now we turn to Michael and Nick for a little bit of a chat about this submission. Nick, I'd like to turn to you first. What are your first impressions of the submission?
My first impressions is it sounded like a description of an average game of Commander. And I don't really see what the problem was.
Okay.
Like they weren't all the cards that the writer called out were just cards like self-protection cards, right? Prismatic strands and whatever. Like
right.
Does that count?
Prismatic strands isn't even that good.
No, it's fun. It has good art. I like that. I mean,
I love prismatic strands. I think it's pretty great. I don't mind it at all.
I don't. I guess I just don't understand what the problem is. So hopefully you can illustrate that a little bit more for me.
Well, talk to me about what your instinct is here, because if you're thinking like I don't see the problem, then what about if you were to think about like how these other decks matched up or how the players reacted, like what's getting you thinking that like, yeah, whatever, it's regular, you know?
Yeah. Well, it just seems like there's maybe a miscommunication in terms of what
ding.
what constitutes interaction, what constitutes the things that the new players to say they don't like about a game of Commander. I feel like if I were in this situation, I would probably also be Navineral because I just played
that is your real name.
Yeah, I would play the decks I have, and like I'd say this is what they do, and that's the end of that conversation, really.
I think that I understand where you're coming from too. I do think that sitting down with people and having them say out the gate, we don't like control or poison or disruptive interaction, then I'd have to say pause. We need to talk about that because
isn't
it's
all
like
interaction disruptive? Like, isn't that the point?
Well, I mean, unless you're playing a group hug deck, in which case it's like you're adding. I don't know. It is all.
I don't like lands that make mana.
Yeah.
That's just not what I play Magic for.
So
you're
Michael,
being disruptive.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
being disruptive.
I should run less interaction.
Michael, go ahead and tell me what you think of this one, because I had a bit of a take here on the article, and a lot of people disagreed in the comments, and other people agreed in the comments, and there was like it was a very chatty day on the website. I'll say
top of Reddit's most controversial list. I see.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I really think that people need to be less stingy with removing engine pieces. Like if someone plays Heuristic Study and you blow it up, that is the correct play.
Yeah.
It's called bolting the bird for a reason, right? I have bolted birds in EDH, and it does almost always lead to heavy losses for that player. Like if they kept a hand based on like 2 lands and a Birds of Paradise, right? And they're like, "Oh, well, I'll have the time to draw a 3rd land.
Sure.
With 3 mana sources, I'll be able to play this, and that." And then the bird goes away. I mean, they're just completely screwed, right? And
if they built their deck badly, I guess, it's like, yeah, I would hope they have another land out there.
I suspect for a lot of people listening that 2 lands, Birds of Paradise, is a reasonable keep, right?
Reasonable, sure.
Yeah, that is reasonable. With the expectation that the bird doesn't get bolted. But if that stuff happens, I think that is a lesson that people need to learn and be aware of, because some people are going to be willing to use their early removal on what's effectively a gamble to try and stop you from getting to that point in the first place, right? Like, everyone hates getting board wiped, but it's almost worse to never get to the point where you can be board wiped in the first place.
Oh yeah.
And
that I agree with completely. Totally.
And I think that feels like the crux of this in a way, right?
So, okay,
because
that's interesting. Okay.
no one really wants to play the game where they're denied the resources and can't get off the ground, because everyone's so invested in seeing their deck do the thing.
Well, it seemed
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it seemed like from that story, everyone kind of did their thing. And it just didn't
except
work.
for the Krufix player, really. The Marinar player didn't really.
Krufix doesn't do anything anyway.
I mean, you don't know what this deck is. I got no info from that deck in this story. I'll say, okay, I do find it weird that they're piling on this old head in the group for disruption when the Azula player was about to win. I think that it's kind of silly to be like, yeah, this player just went for the win, and you had an answer to that and played very well. But I do think that there's something to be said for the fact that, like, these players before sitting down with you were vocal about not liking stacks, and you've got both the Praetors out in one turn. Like, I get the game is done, but if you keep winning thanks to a concession, there's something icky about that. I want you to win through game actions, you know what I mean? And I get that, oh yeah, a player conceding is technically a game action because, but I just,
you can concede at any time, Mike.
No, sorcery speed. Don't be a dick. You can have conversations about conceding anytime, but like you can only concede on your turn, and like that's that, the Praetors being out at the same time is like, yeah, okay, game will be over, but like show us that I would like to. I guess what I don't like about this story is just how little hope for a chance at anything this gives anybody. And it just is a concession win through and through. And I think that part I have a hard time with, especially because these are new players in your group. You're playing with them in this new pod configuration for the very first time. And you're having a discussion prior to the game where the likes and dislikes come up, and you're here saying, yeah, it's a value engine deck, and that's all well and good. But what does a value engine deck even mean when they're saying, like, please no stacks, and you're like, well, my value pieces are the high end of stacks, right? Like, having a Vorinclex be your sorry, Ken, your play of a turn at the, you're saying you saw and played half your deck. I think we're like nearing the end of the game already, but there is something to the
play half your deck and not be near the end of the game.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, playing half your deck sounds like a big deal, but then you remember, but no, but you remember it's Kellen and Chulane are in play, and these other guys are just like not handling them.
Like a value engine deck is just a combo deck with extra steps.
It's a combo deck that doesn't win right away. Yeah. And as somebody who plays a lot of value engine decks and very battle cruisy styles, I still make a point of like allowing for there to be moments to interact. And if I have set myself up to be in a position where I'm in total control, like when I have my Tesa Opulent Oligarch deck, I know that deck inside and out. Like I turn the keys to that car and I can, close my eyes and drive it wherever I want. I know I'll be fine.
That's dangerous.
It's well, dangerous for my opponents. I know that deck well and I know what I can do with it, but I also know that when I'm playing against people who are like, this is the kind of thing that I don't like to play against, or this is the kind of thing that I don't enjoy, I will try to avoid those kinds of plays. Like, I don't think if I were in Navinral's shoes that I would play. I don't think I would build with 2 Praetors in the deck to begin with, but I don't think I would play a Praetor and then have the other one enter. You know what I mean? I don't think I would.
So would
You would show
Wondrous
some restraint.
Yeah. Is Wondrous Crucible a random effect? That might change things
I think it is random. I think it's random from your graveyard.
Yeah. Because at the beginning,
I seem to remember that. It's like all your permanents have Ward 2.
Did
and
that's
Larry,
the other thing. Ward 2 on everything is nightmare. Go ahead.
Did Larry mention anything about, like, I know that, Navineral mentioned
Larry
Nevin.
Spine.
Yeah,
It's a pseudonym anyway.
Yeah. I know.
Mr. Nevin.
Yeah. Did Larry mention anything about the other players being new to the game? I know that he said it is new to the Playgroup.
pod. So here's the thing. From this story, they are new to the Playgroup. We have that 100%. They're playing commanders that you don't just get a Krufix deck together if you're new to the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Maronar is a maybe. Azula's a maybe. Krufix has definitely been around. Maronar probably been around. You know what I mean? Because who knows? But Azula definitely could be a newer player. The thing is, everybody's playing at a similar level and a similar pace, from what I can tell. What I think is nuts is that they're just... Man, there's a lot of stuff in here that like are red flags for me. Like the Rebecca thing, like, hey, I don't think you should be allowed to have her in the command zone. That's a crazy thing to say. Rebecca is a
normal
creature.
Like, yeah.
It's an uncommon partner from Commander Legends that a lot of people don't bother using because she is just fine.
Protection. Yeah, she's just protection for artifacts, right?
That's it. For artifacts. For artifacts with mana value equal to artifacts that you control. So like it's whatever, it's not like let me see. Let me get it right. Rebecca, artifacts you control have protection from each mana value among artifacts you control. Meaning that like you can't even target them if you have stuff that you need to use on them, Anyway, I digress. I think Rebecca is fine. That's a red flag. I think that like there's an element of jury management here, that the concept from like I learned from Big Brother back in the day when I used to watch it, which is like you could play an excellent game, but at the end of the day, the count,
if no one likes you,
the jury is voting for the winner. And so if you're down to 2 players and everybody's mad at you, then your runner-up is going to take the game. No matter how perfectly you played the game, how well you did, you're still pissing people off, and that'll have an effect on your standing in the group. That'll have an effect on whether you like it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, whether people deny it or not. People take things into the next games, especially a play group where you're like, I've played against this deck before. I've seen it do its thing. I need to hold up my interaction so that I can deal with this, and hold up extra interaction so I can deal with the interaction that's being used to protect it. And like that'll come from games where you're not managing the jury. You know what I mean? There's an element of like you feel bad, which is why you're writing in. You worry that this was a demoralizing experience, but you also did nothing in that moment to like stop it from being a demoralizing experience. You don't need to take the win. If you're worried about something, like, yes, sandbag a little bit. It can suck to feel that way. Sure. If this is not in your wheelhouse, it is what it is. Like, do what you want to do. But I think in the end, ultimately, completely, when they turn around and say, we don't want to play against value engine decks, that to me is like, these are new players. That to me feels like a new player is leading the conversation and the others are like, yeah, I guess I agree. and that being lumped in. I can't imagine like an old school player being like, I don't want to play against this ever, and like I'm swearing off an entire like broad archetype. It feels nuts to me to like be that kind of dismissive of everything. And I don't think that I don't think that Larry is a bolus. We're going into voting now, I guess. But I don't think Larry is a bolus. I do think that it sucks to see protected Praetors against you, especially Vorinclex. These two cards used to be on the game changer list for a reason.
Are they not anymore? Did I miss that?
Yeah, they're part of the update. They're removed. They both used to be game changers because they ruffle feathers so much. Yes, Vorinclex costs 8. Yes, Jin-Gitaxias costs 10. They don't come out for that kind of mana though. There's a bunch of stuff that can get them out for free or quicker, or like you can ramp to it. It's not a big deal. The point is, these two are on the list because they elicit so many groans and hopelessness at a table. And I think that what makes a game fun is when everybody has a little bit of hope even when they're being killed. If you end the game and think, well, I did everything I could and I got bested, but it was interesting and cool, then you're met with somebody who's like, I got to figure out how to beat you next time. But instead, you're getting people going like, I did not enjoy that at all. Because swearing off an archetype isn't just saying, I don't like this archetype. You're saying that I didn't have fun. When you concede, you're saying, I can't win, but I'm also just like not having a good enough time to see if I can possibly get there. I'm done. And so to me, it's like people aren't having fun because people aren't aligned. And I think this in particular would require a playgroup-wide conversation about what the playgroup wants and expects. And I think within a playgroup, using the bracket system is good to start, but then you have a lot of relativity you deal with, right? You know each other's decks a lot better. You know each other's play styles a lot better. You have literal things you can compare and put on like a ranking. It'll help you guys understand where you're all coming from, what kind of play styles you gravitate towards. You get to know each other better, and that's how that works. These people aren't open to that right now, and I feel like that kind of sucks. But so are you when you're going, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and lose all the time? Like, no, you're not supposed to sit there and lose all the time, but you are supposed to be aware of like what you're doing to the people who are asking you not to do the stuff that you're doing to them. So I don't think there's boluses here, but I do think that there's a couple people who just need to listen and, have a conversation with each other a lot more. That's where I'm at on this one. Nick, I see you nodding. Where are you at on this? What do you think?
Well, two things. One, I feel like I need to add context. I know that word is,
I love context.
It's
my favorite thing.
How dare
it
you?
matters.
It's weighted here. But so like me personally, I don't have a ton of time to play Magic Commander specifically. And when I do, it's almost exclusively with people that I have known for years. So
For sure.
I don't really have a lot of experience playing against people who I am new to. So the idea that like you can do something surprising or unexpected and the other people are going to get upset about it, that's wild to me. And the other thing is it's also kind of strange to get so upset about one game. It's just one experience. Like, so if you had a bad game, like just go on to the next game and see what happens. Like, especially if Larry's switching his deck and he didn't like that deck, but now he's playing a different deck. So like, clean slate. Let's try this again. Especially you're only just meeting these people and it's a play group. So I assume that the expectation is that this will be a group that you play with in the future.
Yeah.
Just one game. Just take a step back. Don't get upset. Don't swear off entire archetypes because of one bad experience because you got bullied by Vorinclex or whatever. Just chill out.
I mean, so here's the paradox of the podcast and the article series is that on the one hand, it is just a game. Fucking calm down. Sorry, Ken. Just be cool, be like a regular cool person, be chill, be kind, see if you can squeeze out some fun out of this experience and have just move on, clean slate, enjoy it. Like you said, there's another game coming. But on the other hand, it is very important to people who need to schedule the time to be able to do this once in a while, who really want to enjoy the thing that they enjoy, and they don't want to encounter a thing that frustrates them, even though it's in the realm of possibilities. So it's like, on the one hand, again, like I said, the paradox of this entire project, right? The paradox of Am I the Bolus and Am I the Bolcast. Every single submission I get, every single one, the first thing I think is, why if you're asking me, why has it gotten to this point, unless you don't know the person that you're talking about? Because if it's a play group, take it inside. Talk to each other. It feels like the first thing that you should be doing is talking to each other. And then it'd be fun to get a submission from the play group as a whole. We did one where we had two people from a play group, one guy from a play group message, and then two others responded. And we had this interesting like rebuttal from the people and an update from them saying like, yeah, well, we talked it out. We're like working on things and we got another retreat coming, which is exciting. But the idea is like, have the conversation internally. Really get to the point where you guys are discussing things that you essentially can agree on, and it's house rule time. That's what's important. Make some house rules.
Yeah,
customize the experience.
Like I honestly think it just boils down to: are you playing Commander because you like Magic? Or are you playing Commander because you like hanging out with people? And if it's the former, then maybe Commander isn't the right way to go. Because Commander is really, at its heart, a format about hanging out with people. So, like, if you're there to play Magic, I mean, there's CEDH, there's 60 card formats, there's limited. Like, just go ham.
When I play limited, I am sweaty. I play to win. I don't think you have to care.
I don't think you have to play limited to be sweaty, Mike.
You should see my shirts. But I really spike out when I play limited, but when it comes to Commander, I'm just kind of like, I want to do a cool thing. That's a cool thing. Oh, I have this kill spell. You do the cool thing. Let's see the cool thing. I would rather have this. I'm team story. There was another submission. Team story all the way. Team game, I understand, but Commander for me is story all the way. Let's have some interesting games. Let's have some fun with it. We're here to hang with people. I don't fully understand CDH. I understand the appeal of doing really powerful stuff, and I'm not a very competitive person when it comes to multiplayer formats. But when it's limited, I'll get spiky for sure. And I think I agree with you on that front, where I'm like, maybe Commander isn't the right format for you if you're just like, I want to win. Because you have more opponents that are going to fight you to win. And good luck. Michael, we haven't heard from you on this one yet, so let's talk about it. What's your verdict here?
Honestly, I think that it's hard for me to say with any certainty that the guy is the bolus.
It is a complicated.
I don't like the idea of completely writing off large sections of this game just because.
Yeah, agreed.
If you have a bad experience, I understand this. Magic is a game. You're supposed to have fun playing games with other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's an experience you don't enjoy, then I do believe it's entirely within your right to be like, no, I don't want to play this right now. And that's fine, but there's also this part of me that wants to say that, well, you signed up to play Commander, and Commander does encompass all of these things, and it sort of doesn't matter that you don't like it. Like,
Right.
it's not going to be a perfect game completely tailored to your wants and needs, right? There are 3 other players whose goals and ambitions you have to deal with.
Right.
And part of the fun is handling that. Sometimes it is entertaining and even good to get frustrated at something. Like, I don't think that frustration is a purely negative emotion. Like,
Agreed.
people who play games like, I don't know, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, where you're the guy in the pot and you have the hammer. You've seen that game, right, Mike?
I have seen it. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
weird, it's a strange game.
the whole point of the game is you're a guy like caught in this pot, and the only way you can move is you have this hammer that you can swing in an arc, and you kind of like have to leverage yourself up this mountain of mishmashed
It's
stuff.
a Sisyphean nightmare.
Yeah. And the whole point is sometimes you get up really high and then you make one mistake and it careens you all the way back down to the bottom.
Right.
Like that's an exercise in frustration. Like frustration is built into that, but people still play it anyway because happiness is the sense that power is growing and that resistance is overcome. I forget who said that, but still, like, the whole point is that accomplishing something in the face of adversity is also a really interesting part of playing games and handling,
You get a sense of accomplishment from it.
yeah, you get a sense of pride and accomplishment, even though that statement is loaded now too. But
For sure.
you know, like,
someone said that is the point of a game.
yeah, so it's not like where you just play what you want and everyone's enjoying the same thing and you're done. You know, that's sort of like a collaborative storytelling where everyone has their own agenda. Some people become the villain. Am I the asshole for being the villain sometimes? No. Sorry, Ken. Am I the bolus for being the villain? Sometimes.
I think we're not censoring asshole. Asshole's fun to say and hear.
But I think that, like, being the bolus sometimes is not bolus behavior. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's like sometimes you have to be the villain because it creates an engaging through line through which you can experience overcoming an obstacle without there being any real consequence if you fail. Like that's sort of the reason that draws a lot of people to play EDH. You know, I get drawn to build EDH decks because I effectively invent problems for myself that I solve with wacky ideas. That's sort of my motivation when it comes to that sort of. Yeah. And if you can convey that in an entertaining way, then people are going to enjoy playing games with you or watching or reading whatever deck you built.
Can I ask Michael before, because I think I have a perfect example, but I don't want to blow up your spot if you have a video coming for it or something.
No.
Your Saheeli Sun's Brilliance deck.
Right.
I mean, that is a great example to me of, like, it was frustrating to have the game end so quickly, but I was laughing the entire way through the resolution of the combo.
Right. I was playing the Aminatou deck I was talking about earlier,
Sure.
right? I was testing it out. My actual end goal was to pull the switcheroo with something that, if you blink it from your opponent's side of the board, immediately kills them. My goal was to do this with 9 lives. I would give away 9 lives.
No.
I'd be like, oh, hey, you have 9 lives. I'll blink it. Since it left the battlefield under your control, you die now, and I get the 9 lives back.
Doesn't 9 lives have hexproof?
Yeah, that I realized that a little too late. I switched it for Nefarious Lich, which doesn't have hexproof. It's kind of the same thing.
Oh, here's a thing you could do because it's Aminatou. You have Shay Cormac from Assassin's Creed, and I think Shadow Spear says permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof.
That is true. It does cost $40, which is a little sad, but
yeah.
That was actually my pre-release when I did Beyond Death pre-release.
Good for
I did
you.
Two-Headed Giant, and that was my girlfriend's pre-release, and since she doesn't play anymore, it's now mine.
Oh yeah,
that's how it works. That's the rules.
That's actually where I got mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine from your girlfriend too, buddy. Hey.
Oh, hey, you don't give my girlfriend your Shadow Spear. But anyway, like, I think people need to take getting frustrated in stride and
Great
enjoy
way to put it.
being upset about things. It's also like people who are sore losers. Like, it's a huge red flag for someone if they're a sore loser on this sort of thing, because
Okay.
you can understand that they're not enjoying the concept.
You're touching on something I find very interesting and that I've been grappling with for the last little bit. Michael touched on something that I've been I don't know how to really quite articulate, that has been a growing frustration with Commander, and frankly a lot of submissions lately that I've been hesitant to use for the column. There's an element of entitlement that's come into the game that is a lot more difficult to ignore, and it's leading to a lot more sore losers. And it is also in part why I find myself pushing towards, the idea that maybe I do want a stacks deck, or maybe I do want to try my hand at like MLD to see if maybe I want to play with the people who care less about that and are just like, I like this power level, like a bracket 3 situation, but I also don't want to leave stuff off limits. So I also want the game to go to 12 turns, but I don't care if somebody destroys my lands if we have time to rebuild or they have a plan, So there's that element to it where I'm thinking these conversations are good to have, but at the same time, have them understanding that you're not the only player here. You're your own main character, but so is everybody else to themselves. So have some grace and understanding when you're having conversations about what kind of games you anticipate playing or whatever. And really like Michael said, embrace a little bit of frustration, then shake it off. Like Nick said, there's another game coming. I think that there's so much happening in Magic right now, and people do have less and less time for it, or they only get to play so much, and it can be annoying and maybe push you off the game to be frustrated, but maybe go in knowing that things might not go exactly your way. It's the same thing that you're playing against these decks, or if you flooded and you don't have any game actions. You know what I mean? I think that there's an element here of you have someone to blame other than yourself, and you're picking that rather than being like, I guess that deck just performed really well this game. Maybe I'll have a shot next time. Yes, Kellen the Kid is a commander that I have my gripes with because why couldn't there be a fail case to it? You know what I mean? It is already pushed. And I don't care for the Praetors being on board, but I do think that I don't know, maybe there's still a shot. It's a thing that happens in the game. Let's have some fun with it. Let's try. And they're not. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any boluses here. I do think it does suck that they're we don't like stacks, and then you got both Praetors out. I do think it's ridiculous to say no Rebecca in the command zone. So it's a scale of who's the bolus, and you're about and it's evening out. Maybe even a little bit more in favor of calling the opponents a bolus, but they're not the ones writing in. So to me, I do think there's a slight bolus here for Larry, and there's definitely some bolusing, especially for the Azula player who was no Rebecca in the command zone. Dude, take it easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Calm the down.
There's also
Sorry,
the
Ken.
element of, it's kind of ganging up on Larry a little bit. If there's three of them saying, I'm not going to do that anymore, and Larry's just that's my innocent little Praetor deck. Why are you picking on me?
Don't do that, Michael. Stop it. Michael's touching his index fingers to each other who, me? No, put that away. I think that this is one of the more complicated submissions I've gotten, because I think ultimately everybody is a bit of a dick, and you just need to talk it out. Be reasonable with each other. Don't forget, you're not the main character. You're coming together as a group of people who are going to play games with each other. It's games. The game is fun already. And if it comes down to it, that you are all in a pod against the same decks, and you acknowledge that you've played this Kel and the Kid deck before, and players go, well, now I know what to look out for. I can't have Wondrous Crucible stick around. Learn from your play experiences.
Play disruptive
If I'm playing
interaction.
limited, play some more interaction. If I'm playing against players in limited and it's best of 3, and they play a bomb in game 1 that I could not have seen coming, I'm keeping an eye out for it and holding on to a removal piece for it in game 2. Make the same thought pattern happen in Commander, and boom. Use your removal. Use your deck to protect itself. Do the plan, but you can't go in thinking no one's going to touch your stuff. That's ridiculous. And if that's how you build, go in knowing that it's fine if it happens. A lot of my decks do not protect themselves. A lot of my decks are intentionally a bit of a glass cannon situation, and I have very little protection. I'll have Lightning Greaves and Golbez or Swiftfoot Boots in there just because I need them around, but I'm not going to pack a ton of counter spells. Sorry, Ken. I'd rather have as many Death Shadows as I can in that deck. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I know that it sucks to have your plan disrupted, but then you learn from that. And you disrupt the plan that disrupted yours. And you find your ways to play it. It's also a game so full of variance, even though Rachel Weeks put out a video on the Command Zone
The
about
most consistent format ever or whatever.
Yeah, which honestly doesn't surprise. I was writing an article about this myself. This was something that I was working on, which is to say that we have so many of the same effects, and while I hate tutors, I do find myself also being I'm going to limit myself to 3 of this effect, because it's otherwise then that's the whole deck.
Yeah, like the impact tremors that Solani was talking about earlier. There's
Exactly
2 or 3 in the past 6 months.
And that's only
there's
the ones that deal
10 now
1.
or
There's
something.
there's 15 different versions of impact tremors or impact tremor stuff. Like Warstorm Surge, I would count even, you know what I mean? Similar to that, But all said, embrace the variance, have some fun, even though it looks like there's not as much variance as I once thought there is or whatever, but have a conversation. If these cards really bother you, have a conversation about it. If Larry has a conversation with these players and they were like, the Praetors are a real big problem for me, I would hope that Larry would go, okay, well, the Praetors are my top end and how I finished the game. I guess I'll look for something else that can finish the game. Or what then, if I can't play the Praetors, do you think would be on the level for it? Or I don't think you're running enough removal. You've got an Azula deck that's trying to end the game so fast. I'm just protecting myself from that. Why not, instead of putting the 3rd bulk up, you throw in a Doomblade?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the Praetors are Larry's favorite cards. And that's the hallmark of the deck is I love Vorinclex so much. I need to be able to see it.
He's
every
my
game.
dreamboat.
So by asking Larry to be don't put Vorinclex in this deck. You're tearing out a piece of Larry's heart and stomping on it.
I think it's a matter of having the conversation, and I think if one person feels strongly about one card in their deck, have a conversation of where that card belongs. Maybe make your own brackets. The thing is, I also had a recent submission, which is bracket 3 is. There's a playgroup that wants to play only bracket 3. Yes, it's a good guideline to go by, but then you're saying, nope, it's bracket 3. You can't complain. It is what it is, and you kind of hand wavy about it. There's a lot of wiggle room in bracket 3. There's a lot of different things you could do in bracket 3. Same as bracket 4.
The that ends up happening, sorry, Ken, is just that we're trying to come up with reasons why people shouldn't be upset, and it's not gonna work.
No.
It's all just a heuristic to try and have it so that in a game where 3 people lose and one people wins, it's how is everyone going to walk away from this happy? And they come up with rules and regulations to attempt to make it work. When the
There's no
reality
way
is
it's gonna
sometimes
happen.
people just gotta deal with it.
There
Sorry,
we
Ken.
go. We're trying to mechanical solution on an emotional problem. It's an emotional and societal a socializing problem that is we're trying to be like, let's curb this as much as we can with the one thing we can control for sure, which is mechanically we can batch this stuff together. But I get that your feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'll try to be better.
And I think this is a good use case for some of the alternative commander variants, like the plane chase and stuff like that. Like if you're just trying to have fun, then play a variant that takes away all agency and just throws you into a blender.
You know what's fun is sometimes you sit at a table and you are dominating, and then somebody goes, "You're really being an archenemy." And guess what we can do? Next game, I'll pull out the archenemy deck. It's 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Let's try that out. Plane chase is so much fun. Archenemy is so much fun. Two-headed giant. Try it out. Get sweaty against each other. It's basically 1v1. You want to win that
Confidant.
badly.
I gotta re-put that website up actually.
Versus Confidant? What's this?
Yeah, it was the one where I had a variant where you would just there was an emblem that would go around like the monarchy.
Uh-huh.
And if you took it, you'd get one free random activation a turn.
Oh, of the head
and it was
of
like
Urza?
every activated ability in Magic. There was one that was just like roll a die, and then that's it.
That's fun.
That's your one a turn.
That's fun. I like that. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's the thing is like there are ways to have fun with the game. Add a fifth person, play Game of Thrones style. Like again, it all comes down to your communication. You need to have better conversations with each other to make sure that like you're not stifling each other while also respecting each other. You need to respect each other for sure. Unless someone steps out of line or is clearly in the wrong, like saying, "Hey, I don't think Rebecca should be in the command zone." That's a crazy person thought, frankly. If I'm just gonna put that out. That's wild. I know you hate the card and it's difficult to, but you got board wipes. You use a board wipe. I don't know what to tell you. Like it just feels kind of silly to say that that's the one. Like I get Iona. Iona being banned makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? But Rebecca, protection for artifacts. Your artifacts are. Come on now. 1-800-COME-ON-NOW.com. Extension 12. Look, I still feel sick and I think we gotta go. You can find us at Am I the Bolcast on Blue Sky. I'm Mike Carrozza, MikeCarrozza on all platforms. And I do comedy. Come see me do shows. I'm still working on the next special, trying to get the details down for recording and getting a residency going so I can tighten things up. So just keep an eye on my socials, mainly Instagram for comedy. I'm not going to lie. My Twitter page is mainly retweeting stuff about how ice is. Sorry, Ken. And that's been what I've been up to on that website, which honestly I should get rid of. It's been a net negative on my mental health. But you can also find me on Blue Sky where sometimes I'll talk about magic. Check out my articles on EDHREC.com and secret special project at some point that will be talked about. Ooh la la, keep an eye on that. Nick Wolf, you sweet, sweet angel, where can people find you if you want them to find you? Otherwise, do we direct them just to the crossword and the games on EDHREC.com?
I mean, my first instinct is to say I would rather not be perceived in any capacity at any time. But if you have to try to find me, I am on Blue Sky at wolfsrunphoto.com. But
Hell yeah.
Really just go do the crossword. And if you're done with the crossword for that week, go read Community Corner articles. And after that, go read Mike's articles. And then maybe
yeah, I'll take it.
Too.
Yeah, get on there.
Maybe.
Ha!
Maybe.
Get his ass.
They're
Morgan,
too dense. I don't understand.
They're fun.
Every single frame has just so much going on.
Go watch the YouTube videos. Watch Solani's YouTube videos, Games Freak Essay on YouTube. Morgan is at Indigo Gentleman on Blue Sky, by the way. So heads up. Morgan, shout out to Morgan. Sorry she couldn't be here. Solani, where can people find you and what do you want them checking out besides recommander.cards?
All of my stuff's at gamesfreaksa.info. Those are the letters, not the word.
So make sure to check out gamesfreaksa.info. Not to mention his YouTube channel, which has a bunch of really fun videos about deck techs that Michael's put together. And, of course, shout out to you, the listener. Shout out to everybody who is a part of the Bolcut gang. Shout out to our sponsors, Cardsphere and Bonebox Games. And it's time to scoot the day. Shout out to Ken, sweet editor Ken. And shout out to you and me. And shout out to getting cold medication right after this is done. Later, skaters.